article on Veterans Today that the Iraqi army has downed 2 UK planes dropping supplies to ISIS, to the ISIS militants. It's not just one plane that was downed, it was 2 planes that were downed. And they claim that both the Iraqis and the Iranians claim that US and the UK are arming and supplying the ISIS terrorists on purpose. This is the shortest route also towards, from Israel, Eilat, Israel, towards Aqaba. This is Jordan here, and this is the Red Sea. And the distance between Eilat to Aqaba is about 3 miles, 3.3 miles, or 5.4 kilometers. It's the shortest sea route from one country to the other. Well, this is line, the yellow line that you see here is very faint, of course. That's the border between Jordan on the right and Israel on the left. And this is the Red Sea, as we see here on Google, okay? And this is the distance of about 3 miles right here. So they're dropping to specific locations where they know that the ISIS militants are. 2 planes have been downed, and areas that have been taken back from ISIS have been discovered with UK and US weapons and supplies. This is a very serious accusation. The Iraqis and the Iranians are claiming that they do not believe that the West is serious about ending the ISIS terrorists, that they're supplying them on purpose to keep chaos in the area, and of course that Israel is also involved with all this. As we said before, various newspapers have come out with sources and proofs that Israel is also allowing ISIS to use their areas for takeoffs and landings and supplies. So this downing of these 2 UK planes is a very serious offense. They were airdropping supplies to the ISIS militants. And the name of the article in Veterans Today is Iraqi Army Downs 2 UK Planes Carrying Weapons for ISIL, the same thing. Posted by Veterans Today, February 24th, 2015. The Iraqi Parliament's National Security and Defense Committee has access to photos of both planes that are British and have crashed while they were carrying weapons for ISIL. Head of the committee, Hakim al-Zameli, said, according to Monday report of the Arabic Language Information Center of the Islamic Supreme Council of Iraq. He said that the Parliament of Iraq has asked London for explanations on this regard, and the senior Iraqi legislator also revealed that the government in Baghdad is receiving daily reports from people and security forces in Al-Anbar province on various flights by the US-led coalition planes that airdrop weapons and supplies for ISIS in terrorist-held areas by ISIS. The Iraqi lawmaker further noted that the cause of such Western aids to the terrorist groups, and explained that the US prefers a chaotic situation in Anbar province, which is near the cities of Karbala and Baghdad, as it does not want the ISIS crisis to come to an end. Earlier in the day, a senior Iraqi provincial official lashed out on the Western countries, on the West, and their regional allies for supporting Takfiri terrorists in Iraq revealing that the US and Israeli-made weapons have been discovered from the areas purged of the ISIS terrorists. So this is really, this is getting really out of hand. I mean, they've got so much proof that the West is supplying the ISIS terrorists to keep the area, the whole area, in chaos. Quote, "We have discovered weapons made in the US, European countries, and Israel from the areas liberated from ISIL's control in al-Baghdadi region." The Al-Ahad news website quoted head of Al-Anbar Province Council, Khalaf Armuz. He noted that the weapons made by the European countries and Israel were discovered from the territories in the eastern parts of the city of Ramadi. He disclosed that in January, the anti-ISIS coalition planes have dropped weapons and foodstuff for ISIS in Saladini and Al-Anbar and Diyala provinces. And he underlined that the coalition is the main cause of ISIS survival in Iraq. So if it wasn't for the West supplying ISIS, ISIS would have died down a long time ago. ISIS gets support from Israel, the US, the UK, and European nations as per their proof, their evidence of their supplies that they've captured in the areas that they've left, that ISIS have left. He says there are proofs and evidence for the US-led coalition's military aid to ISIS terrorists through airdropped cargoes. This is what they disclosed in January. He said that members of his committee have already proved that the US planes have dropped advanced weaponry, including anti-aircraft weapons for ISIS, and that it had set up an investigation committee to probe into the matter. He says, quote, "The US drops weapons for ISIL on the excuse of not knowing about the whereabouts of ISIL positions, and it is trying to distort the reality with its allegations." He said that the committee had collected a range of data and evidence provided by eyewitnesses, including Iraqi army officers and popular forces, and said that these documents are given to the investigation committee and the necessary measures will be taken to protect the Iraqi airspace. So another Iraqi legislator said in January, he said the same thing. He reiterated that the US-led coalition is the main cause of ISIL's survival in Iraq. There you go. It's a theater of war. It actually is a theater, isn't it? In October, a high-ranking Iranian commander also slammed the US for providing aid supplies to ISIL. He said that the US claims that weapons were mistakenly airdropped to ISIL, and that was a lie. It was not true. He says, the US and the so-called anti-ISIL coalition claim that they have launched a campaign against this terrorist and criminal group while supplying them with weapons, food, and medicine. In the Jalawla region, a town in Diyala governorate in Iraq, this explicitly displays the falsity of the coalitions and the US claims. So, the US again claimed it had airdropped weapons and medical aid to the Kurdish fighters confronting ISIL in Kobani, near the Turkish border in northern Syria. The US Defense Department said it had airdropped 28 bundles of weapons supplies, but one of them did not make it into the hands of the Kurdish fighters. Video footage later showed that some of the weapons that the US airdropped were taken by ISIL militants. So the Iranians insist that the US had necessary intelligence about ISIL deployment in the region, and that the US claims that they were mistakenly airdropping weapons to them was not true. So I will leave a link below for you for this article.